Hey everyone, as mentioned, this is Friday and Anna Kelly has given us some time on her Friday, which is awesome. And if you watched episode 1, right there near the end, we said the 3-letter magic word, which I attached to Anna, and that is the word joy. So Anna, joy 2021 around the corner. You were doing some amazing things in 20. What you got for 2021?
Definitely, as I'm thinking about goals, and I'll have to be, totally transparent as I always try to be. I haven't gone into my major goal setting yet, even though we only have 2 weeks left of the year, because I've been so busy on, the things that I'm doing. But I've thought a lot about, what do I want for the next year? And truly, I just like at the beginning of this year, I said I really want to focus on things that bring me joy, and that allow me to do the things that I'm going to enjoy doing at all times, not just things I feel like I have to do because I need the money or this or that, and get so busy chasing things that are, make you more money, make you more income, if they're going to like pull the joy out from under you. And along that same thing for 2021, I've just kind of set at a high level, like I want to continue to do deals that really make an impact on the world, and that will bring me joy. So even if I find a deal that's not going to be, an amazing economic benefit, if they're going to be strong investments, but not as good as maybe some other financial decision.
Mhm.
But if they allow me to give back and allow me to make a difference in the lives of the people that are our residents, that's going to bring me so much joy. And it's going to be worth my time and energy to do those kind of deals. So I'm only going to do deals that are going to make an impact, and bring joy to other people and myself. So that's one thing. The other thing is my son. I've talked about quite a bit on this, our talks, is he's a senior. And so he's going to graduate at the end of May, early June, and he'll be going off to college, sometime in August. And it's so important to me for this next year for us to just enjoy each other and just to have a great time together. And so, I will not sacrifice that time with him for anything else, for
Mm.
any deals, any, additional coaching students, whatever it might be. Having that time to just enjoy him, and continue to try to guide and pour into him is top of my, goals for the next year. And then I've been wanting to, and I've been thinking about it and working on drafts, write a book. A lot of people have asked me, when are you going to write your own book? And I've been a part of some amazing books where I've shared a chapter.
Right.
But I really am going to focus on finally doing that book, that has been in my head and my heart for a while. And that's because I know it'll bring me joy. And I get so much joy when I have people reach out to me and say, Anna, something that you said, or you did this webinar, you were on one rental at a time, and I heard something you said, and it made me inspired and encouraged and not give up. Like that brings me joy. So to just do things that I know make an impact, brings me so much more joy, than the money does. And so that's where my focus is going to be next year.
That's funny. So the word for you, and I've shared with this privately and publicly, joy was your word for 2020. I might actually change your word for 2021 and make it impact. Because when I hear you
Yeah.
talk about that and using that as your, because coming out of 19, when we talked about goals, you were kind of vibrating at a rate that was probably not doable long term, right? You had just so many things, right?
Yeah.
And then you found the word joy, like in our second or third conversation. I'm like, that's going to be the thing that kind of, measures this cadence, this vibration. And now when I hear you talk about that story, I really see impact being that thing, right? Because you already nailed joy. Joy's not going anywhere, right? It's already in the bag. Check. Now you're going to be using kind of impact. And the one thing I will tell you about that story is mother-son relationships. That last year of high school, that was my strongest building with my mother. Right. You're a kid, your moms are great. They can't do any wrong. Then you're a teenage boy and you find friends and girls. And then at least for me, right, that senior year is kind of back to mom, right? It's like, okay, mom, you're pretty good at this stuff. Thank you for all you've done. So yeah, I would tell you that senior year, at least with boys, I can't speak for girls, but for me, that was a big year with my mom. So I
That's
think your son
awesome.
will, more importantly, your son may not appreciate it now, but 3 decades later, I appreciate it. So my mom will watch this. So mom, thank you for that year.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And
That's
then,
good to hear, because sometimes, you talk to your son, he's like,
yeah,
I know. I know, mom. Yeah, uh-huh. And it's like, okay, I,
Yeah.
I still know that when I did that to my dad, I still listened. I
Yeah.
might have wanted to pave my own way, but I could hear his voice come back to me. So that's what I
Yeah.
hope. You're
It'll
right.
come. It does. You might have to say it 3 to 5 times, but it's that repetition that eventually sticks. And again, I can close my eyes now and remember some of those conversations. So
Yeah,
even though
yeah,
you think he may not be listening, it's an important, this is an important time, because he will likely, again, I can only speak to my experience, when he goes off to college, assuming he leaves the nest, that doesn't just like go to junior college or whatever, he'll remember this year.
yeah, yeah.
It'll be impactful. And then
And
your
it'll be the
book.
most
Oh,
important thing. So yeah, so I like that impact and joy, because those
yeah,
are the two
joy's already
things.
done, checked, it's already in the
Yeah,
bag.
yeah.
Now we need to go next level, right?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And then your book. I mean, I read a couple of your chapters, and I've obviously spoken with you now probably 100 hours. You have at least one book in you. You probably have two or three if you so desire that, right? The
Yeah.
journey, the start, which again will impact so many people. The transition from a chaotic work life to retirement, and then letting joy and impact drive you further. I mean, I could easily see a 3-book series if you choose to do that, right? Writing a book is hard, at least it
Yeah.
was for me. Um, and I mean, just a word of advice: as hard as writing a book is, for me anyway, editing was the hardest.
Yeah.
So just be ready.
Thank you. I might have to talk to you more about that as I go.
Yeah, because I think just real quick, I think writing my book took, getting it to a draft I felt comfortable enough sharing with people, probably took 50 or 60 hours. But editing, because I ended up going through two different editors. The first one stole my voice, which I had to eventually dump and start over. I bet you editing was 300 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but maybe I'm
That's
just a
crazy.
horrible writer. It's just that could be. I can't spell for anything, and yeah, maybe that's just me. And then back to your first one, impact and deals. I really felt that, right, when you were talking about, looking broader, right? Yes, the numbers will always be important, but it won't be the most important,
Right.
and
Right.
that is rare, right? We work in a world of financial numbers. We're in real estate investing, and I don't know, 98 out of 100 people only talk the numbers.
Right. Right.
Um, yeah. So Levy,
It's so much more than that. It's a people business, and we're
yes.
we're blessed to have what we do,
Mhm.
because we have reliable tenants that pay us every month. And so it is incumbent upon us to make sure we're providing them with good housing and taking care of maintenance issues on time, and
Absolutely.
being good to our tenants. And there's this balance of requiring them to meet their financial obligations, and if they struggle with that, try to figure out ways to help them to
Mhm.
better manage their money, help them to find resources that can help them rather than just becoming dependent on you waiving, rent forever.
Right.
So you want to kind of have that like tough love, but you have to also have compassion and care for people. And for me, it's simple things, Michael. It might be a community, because I do focus on more A to B class areas. So
Mhm.
it's less people that are in poverty, I would say, but there's still single moms that live check to check to check and are just trying to survive.
Yeah.
I've got a lady that in a building I just bought, who's 99 years old, and she's lived in that apartment forever, and her rent is like half of what it should be. And I had the same thing in another building. So for me, impact investing even could be something as simple as, okay, I bought a 10 unit, and I know for that one lady until she dies, I'm not going to make her rent what I could get.
Yeah.
It's my way to be able to give back and say, she's 99 years old. She's lived through a lot. She's on a fixed income. I'm going to provide her that safe housing till she dies.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be very fair, with my rent increases, and I'm going to make up for it on, units that I can get top dollar for, where people aren't going to struggle. Or
Mhm.
it might be, for that single mom at Christmas time, giving some gifts, bringing some diapers, giving a book on budgeting.
Mhm.
So simple ways to give back and make an impact on our community. So it doesn't have to be huge, and I want to do some huge impactful things, but just thinking about every investment as, is there a way with this investment that I can make a difference in the lives of the tenants as while I'm, you know, executing my business plan?
Yeah, I think that is awesome. And one of the things that I preach and talk about, and I've done it for years, is again, your job as a landlord, I believe, starts before they move in, right? Your tenant selection is your last chance to get a good tenant.
Yes.
So you need to take that fiduciary duty responsible. Now, when they move in, if they perform and they act as good, I do like giving rewards or gifts or whatever you want to call it around Christmas time, whether it's little gifts for the kids if they have them, or diapers if it's a single mom, or, hey, you know what? You've been there for 2 years, never missed a payment. I'm going to come carpet clean your place, or I'll replace the carpet in your master bedroom, or whatever it is.
Yes.
These are just nice things to do. This year alone, for tenants that have been good and I've had for years, I think I have forgiven probably close to $10,000 in rent in
Wow.
this crisis.
Wow.
Now, let's be clear. There's a couple of tenants that are clearly playing games, and I will hit them for every dollar. Right?
Yes.
You want to play games with
Me
me?
too.
Fine. I will. Let's go. We'll
Yes.
see. We'll see how this ends.
Right.
But again, most of my tenants, 98% or more, are just awesome, hardworking people that exchange rent for a safe, quality place to live, and I owe them that. And I've taken that very seriously this year. This has been a rough year. So
Oh,
again, the ability to give back, and I may do some more in December. I think you just have to. You got to be a good person.
100%. 100%. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about. All this stuff we don't get to take with us. And
No.
it's how did we impact people? What kind of legacy are we leaving, with our kids, with our tenants, with other investors? That's so much more important than how much money did we make in our lifetime.
Yeah. And then the last thing on impact, just to close, because again, helping others is a big part of our journey now, right? You're coaching students, my people who take my online course. Folks, again, back to episode 1, first, turn off the negativity. And the second thing I would tell you is do the work. We have both outlined the plan. It's not hard, right? It's not rocket science. It's not, calculus. It's do the work, get a little bit better every day, and be ready for the bounty that 2021 is going to provide. But if you don't do the work, I don't want to hear from you. Don't complain. You don't get a choice. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And I would just tweak a little bit. I would say it is hard. It's not complicated.
There we go.
Complicated.
Yes.
Expect hard, because you're going to have ebbs and flows of hard and easy.
Truth.
But you have to want something more than you don't want life to be hard. Life is not easy. It's never easy for long. The hard is coming. Get good at hard, but don't overcomplicate it. Get over it. Get creative. Figure out, I'm going to do the work to get past the hard, and then enjoy the moments that are smooth sailing, right?
You're so right. It is not complex, i.e. calculus and rocket science.
I knew that's what you meant.
Yeah, thank you. See, I'm not good at writing. This is why I need help. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I look forward to our third topic, which is going to be about money and budgeting and all of that stuff. So thank you very much, Anna.
You're welcome.
Thanks.